So you have a Dremel and you don't know what RPM to use. Real quick comment if RPM or RPMs is the right way to say it. Anyways, the most useful thing for you will be the manual for your tool. I have this one for the A220, but the RPMs should be about the same for different models. In the manual, we have the speed settings for each accessory on the left, categorized by type, and with the recommended RPM ranges for different materials. I'll flip through these pages right now if you want to pause and find the bit number you need. Now, if you're a normal person, you probably don't have the bit numbers memorized, so you can figure that out on the backs of the packages they came in. So for this packaging, I know I'm using the 432 sanding drum, and I found it here in the manual under sanding bands and discs. And if I'm using hardwood, I should use the 432 between 5 and 35,000 RPM. Naturally, the 5 to 35 means 5 to 35,000, shown here. That is a huge range though, so I usually just use the Dremel right around the middle of that range to play it safe. Let's do that one more time. If I'm using the 561, under cutting accessories, and I want to cut hardwood, I should use 12 to 35,000 RPM. For laminates and plastic, 5 to 11,000. Also, it's useful to see that you're not supposed to use it for steel, shell, stone, ceramic, or glass. Sometimes the packaging will tell you the max speed for that accessory. This one's 35,000, and on the inside it might tell you more specific RPM for each material it's meant for. There are a couple outliers shown here, so for example, for high-speed router bits on softwood, you should keep the cuts light, otherwise you might burn the wood. Dremel recommends 3 mm per pass. If you're using router bits on hardwood, the recommended RPM depends on the direction of the grain. If you're like me though, you can just ignore it and use the higher speed. If you don't have the packaging, describe the bit on Google Images and try to figure out what it's called. For example, I would look up gold Dremel cutting wheel, and here it is, the EZ544, and now I can look up what RPM to use. If it's an off-brand Dremel bit that doesn't tell you the RPM to use it at, that's a little trickier. Usually I just look up a similar Dremel bit and gauge it off of that. For example, this is the Dremel 7103 diamond wheel point, and this is an off-brand Dremel bit, and since they're both diamond point bits, I would use the 7103 RPM chart as a reference for the off-brand bit. Finally, some models don't have an intuitive speed wheel, like this one. The Dremel 8 has 0 through 4, which really doesn't mean much. I'll put on the screen what the numbers actually mean for RPM. For the A220, it's a little more intuitive with these ranges. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, comment, subscribe, etc. Check out my main channel for actual projects, and I'll see you next time.